In July of 1962, Fantastic Four issue number 5 hit newsstands across the country with a fantastic new story and a fantastic new villain. One that would go on to become one of the most dangerous and overpowered beings in the Marvel comic book universe. His name? Victor Von Doom. As Marvel Studios continues to work on the upcoming Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, where Doom will be the main antagonist, what better time than now to look back at his very first comic book appearance, an original origin story. But before we begin, we'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe, comment, and share this video out. It really helps out the channel each and every week. Thank you. Now, without further ado, we present to you Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's creative genius with Fantastic Four Volume 1, Issue 5, starting with Part 1, titled Prisoners of Doom. In the very first panel, we get our very first look at Dr. Doom, a man cloaked in green with a steel mask covering his face. Strewn about are books about demons and sorcery. In his hands, figurines of the Fantastic Four. To him, merely pawns in his larger plans. And for Doom, it is time that the first family of Marvel feel his might, the might of the only human on Earth with the power to destroy them. And with that, Doom takes off in his helicopter. Meanwhile, in the heart of New York City, a towering skyscraper empties out as employees leave for home. The lights in every office go dark, all except the tower floor, the home of the Fantastic Four. Johnny Storm is reading the new Incredible Hulk comic book and making fun of Ben Grimm in the process, telling him the Hulk reminds him of the Thing. Insulted and angry, Ben rips the comic from Johnny's hands. Johnny activates his powers and lights the comic book on fire as Ben holds it. Now he's really pissed off. Ben smashes the table and demands that Johnny come down and face the music. But Johnny mocks Ben and tells him, "Come and get me." Sue Storm and Reed Richards know how this is going to end up if they don't intervene. Mr. Fantastic grabs Ben and then hog-ties him using his own body while Sue grabs a fire extinguisher and douses the Human Torch. For Johnny, he was only having a little fun, but Reed knows the two of them might not be satisfied until they pulverize each other. Reed asks the two of them what's the matter. When they're not fighting some menace to mankind, they end up fighting each other, but Ben blows him off. Then suddenly, the building goes dark, which seems impossible because the Fantastic Four have their own generator. For the answer to their confusion, one must only look up in the sky. Victor Von Doom's helicopter is hovering above and has released a large web covering the entire structure. A web not even the Fantastic Four can escape from. When they realize they are caught in a net even Johnny's fire cannot burn through, that is when they hear his voice for the very first time. Dr. Doom calls down from above. "Fantastic Four, heed my words. This is Dr. Doom." Reed Richards is stunned. He recognizes the voice. It belongs to a man he thought was dead. Years ago, in Reed's college days, there was a student named Victor Von Doom. He was fascinated by sorcery and black magic. He was also brilliant in the realm of science, but only preferred forbidden experiments that were designed to contact the netherworld. One night, he went too far and brought forth powers he could not control. He managed to escape with his life, but his face was horribly disfigured, and after being expelled, he left. His last known location? Prowling the mountains of Tibet, still seeking forbidden secrets of the dark arts. And now, it seems this sinister genius is now hovering above them, and Reed knows that this may be the start of the most dangerous adventure of their superhero careers. Doom calls out to the Fantastic Four once more, letting them know they are all his prisoners, and that for them to live, they must do exactly what he commands. His first demand? Send out Sue Storm, so he can hold her hostage, ensuring the rest will obey. Doom demands an answer, and Ben gives one. He grabs the netting, determined to snap it like he would snap Doom's ribs. But the net is also electrified and shocks Ben Grimm backwards. Angered even more, the Thing tells Doom, or Goon, or whatever he calls himself, that he is not getting Sue, no matter what. But Reed tells Ben to calm down. It's still Doom's move. Sue tells Reed that the only play is for her to go out and force Doom into the open. That if he is as dangerous as Reed says he is, then they must fight him. And Reed reluctantly agrees. Doom tells him to shoot a flare into the sky if they agree to his demands. Then he will open a section of the net for her to exit. When Doom sees the flare, he allows Sue to climb out. She stands on the rooftop and tells Doom that she is ready to be his hostage, but thinks to herself that Doom shall live to regret ever defying the Fantastic Four. Part 2. Back to the past. As Sue boards Doom's ship, he orders the rest of the Fantastic Four to follow suit, and they must promise not to attack him. Otherwise, Sue will be in harm's way. If they agree to this, they must fire their flare gun once more. Ben grabs the gun without hesitation. He cannot allow Doom to get away. Reed tells Johnny that they must all go, that this is the beginning of something larger, the start of some master plan that they must see through to the end. Doom, who now holds Sue bound and gagged behind him, sees the second flare. He knew his plan was solid, that Mr. Fantastic would not be able to resist trying to learn what the true mission really is. And with a flip of a switch, a domed cage descends from Doom's ship, ensnares the 3 remaining members, and then, to Johnny's amazement, hoists them up into the cargo hold. All the while, Reed reminds them that Doom is an evil genius, not to be underestimated. Doom then turns on his rockets and propels his chopper at unbelievable speed through the skies, letting his passengers know that they will arrive at his castle stronghold in minutes. And as they descend, the Fantastic Four look down upon a fortress, a structure that looks impenetrable. Minutes later, Doom sitting on his throne, the Invisible Woman still bound next to him, and on his left, his pet tiger ready to strike. He tells the Fantastic Four that they are wise not to do what Ben wishes, which is to rush him, for they may be fast, but his pet is much faster. Besides, he has a task for them, one that will yield a reward if successful, and if they refuse, he still has his hostage. He tells the Fantastic Four that he has invented the most incredible device in human history, a time travel device, and he wants the Fantastic Four to go back in time and retrieve the legendary treasure of Blackbeard. Reed immediately knows that Doom is serious. Johnny asks why he does not go himself. Doom replies that he must remain behind to operate the machine. The 3 confer. Johnny is eager to visit the past. Ben wonders what happens if he does not bring them back. Doom answers him. He wants that treasure. He will bring them back. Reed tells Ben that despite his other traits, Doom is not a liar. He will keep his word. Reed asks that Doom release Sue if they do not return, and Doom agrees. He only needed her for leverage. With that, Doom presses a button that will send them centuries into the past. They will have 48 hours to retrieve the treasure, and Doom's last words? Do not fail. Then suddenly, the yellow square the 3 were standing on, turns out that was the time travel device itself. It begins to vibrate and light up, and soon, they disappear. Sue pleads for them to be careful fading into time. Doom tells Sue that they are unknowingly bringing him the gems that will make Dr. Doom ruler of the earth. The next thing that either Johnny, Reed, or Ben know, they are in the early 1700s, in the middle of a Caribbean colony. Hiding in the shadows, Reed realizes that the first thing they need are clothes to blend in. As luck would have it, 2 pirates are squabbling over a bulk of clothing they stole. Easy enough. Just the sight of Ben yelling at them is enough to send them fleeing, thinking a demon has come for their souls. As Johnny and Reed disguise themselves, the real trick is covering up the thing. A fake beard, an eye patch, and a hat ought to do the trick. For Ben, it feels real good to blend in. Sitting in a tavern, Ben loudly propositions one of the barmaids. Reed tells him to be quiet. They still have to figure out a way into Blackbeard's crew. Unfortunately, they are overheard by 2 other pirates, who tell the barmaid to feed them some grog to put them to sleep. The barmaid refills their mugs. A few moments later, Johnny, Reed, and Ben begin to feel sleepy, and then they pass out. They are about to be shanghaied, kidnapped only to wake up at sea as part of a crew. Part 3. On the Trail of Blackbeard. We find our trio still passed out in the brig. Hours later, the Thing awakens first. He quietly looks around, only to find out they are locked aboard the ship. Up on deck, Mr. Splinty orders the prisoners released so they can be put to work. Another pirate questions his authority to give command. After all, he too is fit to lead. But Mr. Splinty will have none of that and pulls his sword to end the conflict. But he does not realize exactly who he has in the hold. The thing bursts through the wooden planks and grabs Mr. Splinty and drags him under. Then, emerging from the hole, the thing challenges the entire crew, one of which takes a swipe at the thing with an axe, but he's overmatched. The thing tosses him like a child. Then, the thing turns on the rest of them. It's almost comical how outmatched they are against Ben Grimm. Even Reed feels a little sorry for the pirates. There are only a dozen of them, to which Johnny replies, they are outnumbered. Suddenly, a piece of the ship rains down on the two of them. A pirate high above on the mast tried to take them out, but for Mr. Fantastic, it's not a problem. He stretches high into the air and knocks the pirate out with one stiff punch. Another member of the crew then pulls a cutlass on Johnny, who turns his hand to flame and catches the blade as the pirate stabs at him, melting the blade all the way down to the hilt. For the 18th century men, this is some kind of dark sorcery. They all retreat and conclude that it would be certain death to defy what they see as the miraculous ones. But before more can be said, a thunderous explosion rocks the port side. It's another pirate ship firing upon them. Reed wonders, could it be the legendary Blackbeard? Using a spyglass, Reed can see that the other ship is laden with treasure. It very well could be Blackbeard. He orders Thing and the Human Torch to get ready for the fight of their lives. The Thing puts the rest of the crew in line because now they are all in this mess together. Johnny strips off his pirate garb and tells everyone to step aside, that he will soften them up. And with that, flame on. Part 4. Battle. The Human Torch glides down from the attacking ship. The men aboard believe they're being attacked by a flying demon and scramble to avoid the flames. Johnny breaks off his attack and dives into the ocean, creating a wall of steam to cover Reed's next move. He orders the Thing and the rest of the crew to attack. The only problem, how do they get over there? The easy answer? Mr. Fantastic stretches and creates a bridge between the two vessels. The Thing breaks off a piece of the mast to use as a weapon as he and the crew rush single file over the stretched out back of Reed Richards. He tells the Thing to hurry up as the weight of the whole crew feels as if his back will soon break. As the Thing presses a man over his head, he cries out and tells his men to go get him, boys, and his men do just that, fighting like possessed souls. The enemy crew are quickly overwhelmed by the ferocity of it all. The fight only lasts a few minutes. Soon, the sound of cheering and chanting for the mighty Blackbeard can be heard ringing over the top deck. In the words of the victorious crew, "Hail Blackbeard, Scourge of the Seven Seas." As Johnny and Reed emerge from the cargo hold with a treasure chest, they're stunned by this new development. Blackbeard? Are they talking about the Thing? Reed then puts the pieces together. The Thing is Blackbeard. He came back to the past to find himself. If that is the case, then the treasure they found really does belong to them. Or actually, it belongs to Blackbeard, for the men have chosen him as their leader. They open up the loot box, gold, silver, jewels, and gems of all kinds. Reed then dumps out the loot. He apologizes to Johnny and Ben because this loot will be divided up amongst the crew. Why? Because if Doom wants it, then it must possess some sort of dangerous power, a power they cannot allow Doom to control. They must see that he never gets it. Instead, they will load the chest with heavy, worthless chains. After all, they are technically keeping their word. They are bringing back to Doom Blackbeard's treasure chest. They never actually promised to bring Doom the treasure itself. But then, the unexpected happens. The Thing tells Reed and Johnny that the two of them can go back, but he is staying. He likes it here. Johnny and Reed are caught off guard. How can Ben stay? He actually enjoys being Blackbeard? For Ben, he asks them, why can't I stay? There's nothing in the future for me. In the 20th century, I'm nothing more than a monster, a freak. But here, I'm somebody. I'm a leader of men. I'm a captain. I'm the guy who started the legend of Blackbeard. Kids will read about me in school. I ain't giving this up. Never. The Thing then orders Johnny restrained. He's still soaking wet, so his powers won't work. As for Mr. Fantastic, Ben orders him wrapped in a sail. No use stretching if you got nowhere to stretch to. The crew then dumps them both into a lifeboat. By the time they get free, Blackbeard and his crew will be lost in the fog, never to be found again. Johnny begs the Thing to reconsider, but at that same moment, Mother Nature decides to intervene. A twister has formed off the starboard side and is headed straight for the ship. The strong gale winds rip apart the sail, binding Mr. Fantastic. It also begins to rip apart the ship, sending Johnny and Reed overboard. Seconds later, the twister is gone, blown out to sea, leaving nothing but flotsam and jetsam in its wake. Johnny can't stay afloat in the waters and is beginning to drown, but Reed is able to reach out and grab him. Eventually they make their way ashore, a small speck of sand in the middle of the ocean. They must now find the thing. It's almost time for Doom to bring them all back. As the two walk the shoreline, they spot their friend lying face down, his disguise now gone. And as Reed stares at him, the thing pleads with him not to say it. He admits to getting carried away, being accepted as a normal man even by cutthroat pirates. He just lost his head for a bit. Then their luck begins to turn. Johnny finds the chest full of chains. It must have also blown ashore. Now, they only have to figure out how Doom plans on getting them home. In that instant, Doom once again activates his time-traveling device. Using atomic power, he brings them all back to the reality. Besides, for Doom, he's given them enough time to retrieve the gems from Blackbeard, and if they failed, they will die. Part 5. The Vengeance of Dr. Doom. As Reed, Johnny, and Ben stand together on the sandy shore, a yellow square appears above their heads and then descends upon them, transferring their physical bodies from the 1700s back to 1962. In front of them now stands Dr. Doom, welcoming them back. Standing with the treasure chest, Reed tells Doom that they have done as promised, returned with Blackbeard's treasure chest. Pleased, Doom tells him that the gems inside belong to the legendary wizard Merlin, who imbued them with great power, power which gives the owner invincibility. And now that power belongs to him. With them, no force on Earth will ever defeat Victor Von Doom. Knowing this now, Johnny wonders to Reed, what if the Submariner ever finds those gems, scattered along the bottom of the sea? Reed just prays that never happens. And as Doom opens the chest, he finds only chains. Worthless chains. He's been tricked. The thing tells Doom he's gonna be more than that as he rushes the villain. Doom calls him a fool and fires a gun at Ben, but Ben powers through and smashes Doom, but not Doom. A robot replica that falls to pieces. Then, Doom's voice rings out from a sphere above them. Of course he's in a hidden room above their chamber, and now, with a push of a button, he will remove all of the breathable oxygen from that chamber, ending the Fantastic Four. Doom taunts the trio. Without air, Johnny cannot flame on. Too bad. None can betray Dr. Doom. Sue Storm, still being held hostage, realizes that Doom has almost forgotten her. She turns invisible and edges herself up against Doom's machinery, looking for any switch to flip, hopefully short-circuiting the mechanism sucking out all the air from her team. She then finds the right one. The panel in front of Doom explodes, blowing him backwards in a burst of flame. It also opens the door so Sue can escape. Now, if she can just reach the others in time, even though the machine is off, Reed, Johnny, and Ben are still in a room with very little air to breathe. Luckily, Sue is in time. She manages to open the chamber door. Fresh air rushes in. As the four reunite and get back to their feet, they have to decide what to do now. Ben has only one thing in mind: tear the castle apart until he finds Victor Von Doom. But Reed stops him. They have to escape first, because the castle is probably full of booby traps. Reed sees a barred window and anchors his body to the middle one, then stretches himself across the crocodile-filled moat to the other side. And hugging a boulder for leverage, he then tells Ben to push. With that, the wall of the chamber collapses. Although free, they still have to navigate the moat, and as Sue tells them, they have to fight Doom on their own terms, not his. Johnny flames on and glides across the moat, heating it beyond the water's molecular level, turning a swath of it to glass, giving Sue and Ben something to walk across and avoid the deadly reptiles. Now, to smoke Doom out of his fortress, Johnny encircles the castle with flames, setting it ablaze. Doom from the top tower window curses them out and defiantly decrees, "I hope he burns my fortress to the ground, so that no one will ever learn my many secrets. As for me, the greatest scientific brain of all time is not without his own emergency escape device, such as my rocket-powered flying harness." Doom launches into the open air, determined to find a new site to plan his conquest of Earth. Reed points Doom out to the Human Torch, who goes into pursuit. He has to capture him, otherwise mankind may never be the same if Doom manages to escape. But even the Human Torch's speed cannot match the thrust of Doom's rockets. The Torch begins to lose strength from straining his powers too far. His flame begins to die out, and Johnny begins to fall back to Earth. But he manages to have enough strength left to slow his descent and grab a nearby tree limb, where the rest of the Fantastic Four find him. For Johnny, he wonders out loud, first Submariner and now Doctor Doom loose on Earth. What happens next? Reed comforts him by telling Johnny that they will devote their lives to tracking down these villains. Ben tells him next time he'll handle things his way. With that, the Fantastic Four head home. Thus ends the first appearance in original origin story of Dr. Victor Von Doom. Dr. Doom to the rest of you. He will, of course, go on to become one of the top threats to all of Earth and beyond as the Marvel comic universe expands throughout the following decades. I hope you enjoyed this look back at this top tier villain, and let us know in the comment section if you think Robert Downey Jr. will do this character justice in the upcoming film adaptations. If you want more comic book fun right away, click on the thumbnail at the end of the video for our look back at the first ever appearance and latest origin story of the Phantom Stranger. You'll be glad you did. I thank you for watching. Until next time, remember, I'm still your reluctant gringo from somewhere south of the border. Salut and a huevo.